If it is Monday night, it is the Wrestling Forum. Hello, friends. It is ridiculously over Anthony Floyer once again, sitting in for the Hardcore Pipe on Derek Ferreira as he continues his leave of absence due to his sportsblog.com commitments. I'll have more on that at the end of the show. Of course, Michael Fletcher, our Cerebral Viper, our other panelist, he will not be joining us tonight either due to work commitments, my guest. I got a text from him a little earlier this evening notifying me that he will not be on the show. He's also 50-50 for Friday Night Strictly Sports. So you know what that means. The Yes Movement is running the show here tonight.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, indeed. And what a night to do it. I mean, with Monday Night Raw tonight being live from what I call the IWC capital of the world, Chicago, Illinois, the Allstate Arena, formerly the Rosemont Horizon. That's where Monday Night Raw was tonight. So when it comes to the Yes Movement, of course, it's me, ridiculously over Anthony Florio, and of course, my partner in crime in the Yes Movement, the one and only Phenom, Michael Bullock. I do apologize for the very late start here tonight. Michael Bullock was out tonight, and as you all know, as Derek likes to say, we all have lives outside of YouTube and sports blog and all that, and it worked out great because no Fletch, no Derek, so plenty of time. So, oh man, what a night! And oh my goodness, wait until you hear what we have to say about at the very end of this review tonight, especially when it comes to a certain main event. Oh my gosh, I am still trying to recover from it. Unfreaking believable. That's all I can say about it. So, all right. With that said, let's dive right into this action-packed Monday Night Raw from Chicago, Allstate Arena, formerly Rosemont Horizon. Here we go. Let's dive right in. We started off an in-ring segment with the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Well, actually, no. Actually, it was the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, and his advocate, Mr. Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman cuts the promo, of course, being the mouthpiece for Brock Lesnar. And nothing left to say here except one of the segments of the night. I mean, we all know Paul Heyman. We all know best promo guy in professional wrestling today. I don't care what promotion you are. It doesn't matter if it's the WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Lucha Underground, what have you, even NXT. Paul Heyman is the man when it comes to promos. This was just another example of why Paul Heyman is the man. I mean, did his usual thing, hyped up Brock Lesnar and says that Brock Lesnar, he says, well, the title match will be in St. Louis at Battleground. There will be beatings and suplexes tonight in Chicago, Illinois. Oh yeah, that IWC laden crowd was definitely all over that. So there's nothing really left to say here except this was one of the segments of the night, and that's really all there is. Heyman is the guy. Heyman is the man. Everybody knows that. So and it was a great hook. It was a great hook to keep viewers, tuned in. Who, as you all know, everybody wants to see Brock Lesnar. They want to make sure Brock Lesnar eventually gets the comeuppance on Seth Rollins. Ever since this whole thing's been going on since WrestleMania. So, oh man, but a great way to start off the show with Paul Heyman, best promo man in the biz, and he comes through one more time. So there's nothing left to say here. I'm gonna throw it up now to my partner in crime in the Yes Movement, the one and only Phenom, Mr. Michael Bullock. Mr. Bullock, your thoughts on this segment with your boy, the Advocate, Paul Heyman.
All right. Well, first off, hello, friends. This is the Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mike Bullock, here for another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Good to be back after my 1 week hiatus because I was on vacation with my family. So, yeah, enjoyed it, and now I'm ready to be back here and get this thing going. So, yeah, I thought this was a good segment to start off Monday Night Raw. I mean, this is definitely one of the top segments of the night, and yeah, basically Heyman hyping Brock Lesnar and saying that, hey, let's take a look at history for a moment, such as when my client took the streak away from The Undertaker. Brock had no respect for The Undertaker, but he didn't disrespect him either. He conquered. When Lesnar took Cena to Suplex City, Brock Lesnar didn't have respect for Cena, but didn't disrespect John Cena as well. Brock wanted the championship, and he took what was his. When he showed Reigns what a savage beating truly is, Brock Lesnar didn't respect Reigns, but didn't disrespect him either. Now, Seth Rollins, not only does my client respect you, but he also vehemently disrespects you because he broke the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not provoke the beast incarnate Brock Lesnar. Rollins basically has provoked him 3 times, including, of course, last week. So basically saying, you know what? Hopefully you and your cojones, which is, of course, Corporate Kane and J&J Security, enjoyed it because they're not going to save you from when Brock Lesnar tears Seth Rollins apart and becomes the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So definitely one of the top segments of the night. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on to the first match of the night, which I will talk about.
Yep, you will lead off on it indeed, Michael Bullock. We now start off with the in-ring action. It was a non-title match. It was Ryback time. You know what that means. Feed me more. Come on.
Feed me more.
Come on.
Feed me more.
Come on.
Feed me more.
Done.
Finish it.
Yeah, buddy. That's right. Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Ryback one-on-one with the Big Show. Apparently ended in a no contest after 9 minutes and 30 seconds. So, Michael Bullock, I know I can't see you. Our viewers can't see you, but if I'm a betting man, I bet you got your shirt over your face and you're doing your Michael Bullock I can't take it face. Am I right or am I right?
You're right. But yeah, I mean, a big man fight. Yeah, really don't like it. Really don't give two you know what's about it. But because the match ended in a no contest, I'm gonna have to give this an NA here. So yeah, of course, basically, of course, the Miz was the reason why. The Miz basically came in and, of course, started attacking the Big Show, and then he tries to go after Ryback as well, and then, of course, after that, we had Ryback hits the shell shock, and then on the Miz, and then, of course, a Miho clothesline to the Big Show. So yeah, NA for me. Really don't give two craps about this match. So not gonna get any further details on it. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. It was an NA on my end as well. You know the rule. You know the golden rule here. One of the golden rules here on the Wrestling Forum. Whenever we have a no contest finished, it's an automatic NA, and that's exactly what it is here. It's definitely an NA. I agree with you. There was some okay action. I will give it that. There was some all right action, but Miz caused the disqualification. Well, not disqualification. It was a no contest, and 9 minutes and 30 seconds. You know, they got some solid time, but Miz played his role perfectly. You know, being that douchey heel everybody knows, and that's exactly what he was here. He was like that annoying little pest that doesn't go away. That never leaves. That never shuts up and gets on people's nerves. Yeah, he did that tonight. He definitely ruffled a lot of feathers tonight. No question about that. I thought he played his role fantastically, if I'm being honest with you, when it comes to that. Of course, as you all know, for those of you who have been living under a rock, of course, at Battleground, there will be a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. It will be Ryback versus The Big Show versus The Miz. I can honestly say I'm not really looking forward to this matchup. My interest rate is right around the meh side, if I'm being honest with you. But and it's going to stay that way unless, of course, we here at the forum see better build to the fight. So So yeah, I'm right there with you, Bullock. It's an NA, no question about it. So yeah, we're done. We're finished with that nonsense. But I will admit though, the Chicago crowd, they were into it. They were into Ryback. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is. So yeah, Chicago crowd definitely hot for Ryback. So with that said, we move on to our next match, and unfortunately, I have to lead off on this one because this was one of the worst fights of the night, if not the worst fight of the night. It was Brie Bella, accompanied by her sister, Divas champion Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox, going up against Paige. Brie Bella wins the match in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Boy. There was some, all right. There was some okay action here. I will admit that. There was some, not too bad action. And even though I have every right to give it a dud, I'm not quite going to do that. I'm leaning more towards 1 to 1.25 stars for the effort here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it between 1 to 1.25 stars for the effort. There was some okay action, but for the most part. But maybe it wasn't twin magic, but Paige had the odds stacked against her. What else is there to say? I mean, the Bella Empire continues to roll, and we don't know how long it's going to continue, but you've heard me say it here on this program before, and the rest of the guys, including Mr. Bullock, have agreed with me when I made this statement. And I'm going to make it once again. Nikki Bella, the Divas champion, is going to surpass AJ Lee's record. You heard that here first. That's all there is to it. As of now, it's 220, I believe. Well, since we're now past midnight here on the East Coast, it's now day number 226 for.
And how appropriate, Florio, that Nikki Bella basically rules over Paige in Chicago. Of course, that's where AJ Lee, of course, is married to CM Punk, and obviously this is a way of rubbing it in on the Chicago crowd.
Absolutely.
This is like her way of saying, "Hey, I'm gonna surpass your hero's record reign as Divas champion, so deal with it."
Yeah, and we're all going to have to deal with it. I mean, it's their world. We're paying the rent, brother. Simple as that.
Even though we don't like it.
Right. Exactly. Don't get me wrong. They're beautiful women. Don't get me wrong. They're nice to look at, but it's just that it's at the point. I hate to say it, but it's at the point to go away. I mean, we all know the reason why Nikki Bella has held the title for as long as she has. Of course, John Cena. But we're not going to rip John Cena tonight because John Cena did something unbelievable, and that's part of our big review at the when it comes to when we get to the main event. I cannot wait to get to that point. But other than that, I mean, yeah, nowhere near the effort of last week. I mean, last week, you heard us say it. It was the Divas fight. You heard Fletch and I say it was the TV Diva fight of the year for the WWE. I mean, that was a 2.5. Yeah, we gave it about 2.5 to 3 stars last week. The effort with Paige and Alicia Fox. I mean, that was a damn good fight, but I can't say the same about this fight here. So 1 to 1.25 stars is my rating, and I just have one question before I throw it to Michael Bullock. I just have one question. That is, as of now, there's nothing in the cards for the Divas when it comes to Battleground. Big question is, do they have anything planned for the Divas, or are they going to give the Divas the night off? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So we still got a bit of a ways to go before we get to St. Louis. So we still got SmackDown tomorrow night, and then of course the Go Home show, the Go Home Raw next week from the Phillips Arena in Atlanta. So we'll have to wait and see. So that's all I can say. 1 to 1.25 stars. It is one of the worst fights of the night, if not the worst fight of the night. So nothing left to say here. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this Diva mess here?
I'm actually going to go a little lower. I'm going to say probably half to 1 star. I do agree with you. There was some okay action here, but really let the bitter taste in my mouth. I mean, really didn't give two what's about the match. Yeah. And like you said, with of course the the Bella team, of course, with Alicia Fox attacking Paige after the match, and then of course Nikki Bella hitting the rack attack on Paige and basically standing tall in the over the crowd in Chicago. And yeah, and like I just said to Florio, I mean, this is basically her way of rubbing it in and basically saying, you know what, I'm gonna surpass your hero, your AJ Lee as the longest reigning Divas champion of all time. So deal with it. Yeah, unfortunately, we're gonna have to deal with it, even though we don't like it. And of course, of who she's dating, the current United States Heavyweight Champion John Cena. So yeah, until the day she passes AJ Lee as the longest reigning Divas champion ever, I know the IWC is not gonna like it, especially that IWC crowd in Chicago. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to deal with it, even though we don't like it at all. Half to 1 star. Florio, let's move on to the next match, which I will talk about.
Yes, you will. And you got yourself another good one here. It was the master of the Superman Punch, Roman Reigns, going one-on-one with the Celtic Warrior, Mr. Money in the Bank, Sheamus, winner of the match via countout in an even 12 minutes. It was the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. And after the match, Michael Fletcher's boy was back, the Viper, Randy Orton. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the match and the subsequent return of Mr. Fletcher's boy, Randy Orton.
All right. I thought this was a good match. It was good, not great. But unfortunately, because of the DQ finish, I'm gonna have to give it only 2 stars for the effort.
Count out finish, Bullock. Count out finish.
Oh, count out finish. Yeah, count out. Sorry about that. Yeah, long day for me. So yeah, because of the count out finish, I do have to give it 2 stars. I mean, if it was like a regular pinfall or submission, I probably would have rated it higher. But because of the count out, I have to give it 2 stars. But it was good for what it was. But yeah, I mean, it was some good. There was some good action here in this match. But yeah, of course, like we said, but here's a little something that happened during the match. I mean, Roman Reigns basically was looking for the spear on Sheamus, and then all of a sudden Bray Wyatt's music hits, and then the fireflies are in the sky, and then Bray Wyatt walks out, and then he heads to the outside and hits a Superman punch on Bray Wyatt, and then Reigns grabs the light, then looks at so basically Sheamus wins because of the distraction by Bray Wyatt. But yeah, just when it looked like Sheamus was about to celebrate, you hear that famous music of Randy Orton. I hear voices in my head, they come to me, and you're like, oh boy, here comes Fletcher's boy, Randy Orton, coming to the ring. And if Michael Fletcher was watching this, he must have been going bonkers with his boy coming out, and basically goes after Sheamus, beats the crap out of him, and then after that, RKO to Sheamus. So yeah, so Randy Orton gets some retribution on Sheamus, and I get this feeling that it's probably gonna end up being Randy Orton and Sheamus at Battleground. So yeah, look out for that match, because I think it's gonna happen after what we saw here tonight. So 2 stars is my rating for the match. So Florio, it's yours.
Well, it's agree to disagree, Bullock. When it comes to the idea of Randy Orton against Sheamus at Battleground, I definitely 100% agree with you. That's definitely going to go down. There's no doubt about that. Now, as far as your rating for this fight goes, it's a slight disagreement, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm actually going to rate this 2.5 stars, to be honest. And I'm also going to call it the 3rd best fight of the night. 2 matches were better. You obviously know what one of them is. I don't think I have to tell you about that. But yeah, solid match for what it was. There was some good action, and after it was over, it felt like a 2.5-star fight to me, even with the count out finish for Bray Wyatt. Once again, getting into Roman Reigns' head. Roman Reigns and the Superman punch. We thought it was Bray Wyatt, but it turned out it was probably some plant. That's my guess. Bray Wyatt was on the Titantron there. And Sheamus, wins the match via count out. There's Randy Orton. And Randy Orton makes his return. Michael Fletcher, I know, was probably grinning like the Cheshire Cat when he saw Randy Orton come back, because we all know his love affair with Randy Orton. And this is why we call him the Cerebral Viper. It's a combination of Viper, Randy Orton, of course, the Cerebral, of course, being the Cerebral Assassin, Triple H, because those are, Triple H was his favorite, years ago, and I know he's still one of his favorites. And of course, Randy Orton, y'all know his love affair with that guy, so that's why we call Fletcher the Cerebral. That's why I came up with the nickname Cerebral Viper for Fletcher. But nonetheless, Randy Orton did his usual RKO out of nowhere. Those RKO out of nowhere vines that have been, blowing up the internet over the last, several months. And another one to add to the scrapbook, if I'm being quite honest with you. So, and Michael Bullock says Randy Orton against Sheamus at Battleground. You damn right it's going to be that way, Bullock. You damn right. Randy Orton and Sheamus, they're going to throw down at Battleground, but something tells me it's going to be a no contest. And it's going to lead into I think it's going to lead into a rematch at SummerSlam, probably some kind of gimmick fight. That's just my guess. But we'll have to wait and see. So. And it's going to be in St. Louis, so that means Randy Orton's going to get that hometown rub. So, oh man, can you imagine what that atmosphere is going to be like when he shows up and you hear his music in St. Louis? That crowd is going to absolutely lose their minds. So that's all there is to say about that. Hometown rub, indeed. So for me, it's 2.5 stars. It's the third best fight of the night. So there's really nothing left to say here, except we're going to move on to the next moment. It was an in-ring segment. It was Rusev and Summer Rae, interrupted by Dolph Ziggler and Lana. Another one of the segments of the night here. Initially, I didn't really think this segment was going to be anything special, but after what we saw go down, it became one of the segments of the night. This turned out a lot better than I initially thought. I initially thought this was going to be a crappy segment, but no, it was not at all. Main reason being, last week we all know Summer Rae was the star of the segment last week. This week, it was Rusev. Rusev was the star of this segment. He's healed. He's no longer hurt. I guess the ankle has healed. I guess he's medically cleared to compete now. And, oh boy, he was back in a big way. What a beating on Dolph Ziggler. My goodness gracious. Beats the snot out of him with a crutch. Then he does a super kick with the walking boot on. Then he disposes of the walking boot. Ankle's healed. And then, if you're squeamish, folks, you would see one of the sickest bumps you will ever see. Not for the weak at heart. Where he takes the crutch and jams down on Ziggler's neck and throat area. Oh my gosh. I've seen those bumps before. Those are not fun to watch. Trust me, they are not fun to watch. I've seen them. Hell, Bullock's boy, The Undertaker, when he was the heel American Badass, he used to do those kind of bumps all the time on a lot of guys. So,
but the only exception is that was with a steel chair.
Exactly. But what I mean is,
but that's worse than a crutch.
Oh yes, absolutely. And of course, Bray Wyatt. Late last year, Bray Wyatt. He did a similar bump on Dean Ambrose, and that was with a steel chair. But this was with a crutch. But still, it doesn't matter if it's a crutch or a steel chair. It hurts like hell.
Boy, could you imagine it? Could you imagine if the Undertaker had done that to Bray Wyatt during their little feud?
Oh goodness gracious, that would have. Oh boy, the excitement level for Mania would have peaked and then some. But nonetheless, yeah, Rusev. Man, oh man, did Rusev look great tonight. He was the star of the segment, no question about it. But the only thing, the fans wanted to see Lana and Summer go at it. I know I did. Unfortunately, Rusev.
I would have had to pull my inner Joey Styles.
Yeah, Yeah, cat fight indeed.
Cat fight!
Yep. But nobody does that better than Fletcher. I mean, Fletcher does that unbelievably. But anyways, it initially I thought this was going to be a train wreck and a cluster bleep of a segment, but no, no. This was my sleeper segment of the night. That's all I'm going to say. It's a sleeper segment of the night. Rusev is back, and you want another match for Battleground? Here you go. Mixed tag match. Dolph Ziggler and Lana. Yes, Lana will make her in-ring debut against Rusev and Summer Rae. It may not be official, but in my mind, it's going to happen at Battleground. You heard it here first. So, nothing left to say here except sleeper segment of the night. It's not often I say that, but sleeper segment of the night. I thought it was going to suck, but boy, howdy, did it far exceed my expectations. Michael Bullock, what say you?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, this was definitely the sleeper segment of the night. I mean, yeah. Originally, I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be a train wreck, a disaster, and a cluster bleep of a segment. But no, this really, really turned out to be a really good segment. Basically, with Rusev and Summer Rae, basically talking about Dolph and Lana, and then of course the two of them come out and Ziggler's like, you know what, you lost everything. I mean, you lost your United States Championship, you lost Lana, and then all of a sudden they start Ziggler and Lana basically making out, and then all of a sudden it looked like Summer Rae and Lana were about to go at it with the cat fight. But then, of course, we see Rusev basically starting to go after Dolph Ziggler and basically hitting the super kick on him, taking that boot off, and then of course he takes the crutch and basically stomps it right on Dolph Ziggler's neck, and I'm like, holy moly, that was a sick bump, but nothing is sicker than taking a steel chair to the throat. Just ask those victims of course, The Undertaker when he was the heel American badass. But let's not forget Florio as the he did some at times when he was the dead man. Let's not forget. Remember when he did it to Big Viscera during that 2-on-1? Yeah, when he was the dead man.
Yep, yeah. I remember.
Yeah, when it was The Undertaker and against Viscera and Gangrel, Big Vis was the one who ended up taking the steel chair to the throat. So it wasn't just the American badass Undertaker that did it. The dead man Undertaker had some moments with that. So yeah, but either way, that was definitely tough to watch. But yeah. I do agree. I think we're going to get some sort of a mixed tag team match. But if not that, I think it could basically be just a one-on-one match between Dolph Ziggler and Rusev. So we'll have to wait and see how it all goes down leading up to the match. So, well, leading up to Battleground, I should say. So one of the sleeper segment of the night. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on to the next match. And do I really have to talk about this?
Well, before you get into that, Michael Bullock, I just want to say the reason why I bring up the mixed tag is because I recently came across a dirt sheet stating that the plan is for Ziggler and Summer Rae to go up. I mean, for Ziggler and Lana to go up against Rusev and Summer Rae. They initially thought it was going to be maybe SummerSlam, but now that Rusev is healed, and who knows? Maybe they just may do it at Battleground, and maybe they could have separate singles matches at SummerSlam. Maybe we could have Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev one-on-one at SummerSlam, and maybe even throw in Lana against Summer Rae one-on-one. Maybe on the pre-show. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So that's just my thought. And like I said, I found it on a dirt sheet, sometime last week. So all right, moving on to the next match. And yes, Michael Bullock. You heard Michael Bullock say, do I really have to talk about this? Yeah, unfortunately you do, since it's just us here tonight. Bo Dallas, one-on-one with the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose. Winner of the match in 2 minutes and 55 seconds. I wonder who it could be. Oh, yeah, it was the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose, a la Dirty Deeds. All right, Michael Bullock. Now I got to believe. You got it. Now I know you're doing your I can't take it face. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah. I am definitely doing that. The famous Michael Bullock, I can't take it face. Yeah, absolute dud. This to me was the worst fight of the night. I mean, pointless, unnecessary, unacceptable, inexcusable, irresponsible, and borderline reprehensible. I mean, this was just bad. I mean, this was basically Dean Ambrose basically putting a beat down on Bo Dallas. So, you know what? I'm not going to get into any more of this this nonsense. So, Florio, it's yours. Dud, 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 dud.
100% agree with you, my man. This was an absolute dud. This was the worst fight of the night. I 100% agree with you. The Diva fight was the second worst fight of the night for me. But nonetheless, showcase match for Dean Ambrose, obviously. It's a shame that he had to go over a dud enhancement talent like Bo Dallas, but, it is what it is. And, again, I have another question. What are the plans? Are there any plans for Dean Ambrose to come Battleground? I mean, I did hear a possibility that they may have Dean Ambrose go up against Corporate Kane maybe at Battleground. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but we'll have to wait and see. But as of now, Dean Ambrose doesn't have a dance partner for Battleground. And that's a shame because, he is one of the top guys. And here's a guy who's coming off main eventing, the last three WWE Network specials / pay-per-views. Payback in that four-way with Rollins, Reigns, and Orton. And then, of course, the Elimination Chamber and that one-on-one match with Seth Rollins for the title, which everybody except me thought Dean Ambrose won the title, but I did not see that coming. I did not have Ambrose winning the title. I mean, I saw that finish coming from a mile away. I mean, you already know my story on that. And then, of course, Money in the Bank, that unbelievable ladder match, that 5-star ladder match that those two had. I mean, 35 minutes. Come on, for God's sakes. So that's all there is to say on that. And my guess is Ambrose is going to fight Kane at Battleground, or who knows? Maybe they just may give Ambrose the night off, or Ambrose could get involved in the main event. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So. But I definitely agree with Michael Bullock's rating. It's an absolute dud. It's the worst fight of the night. Squash match, showcase match for Ambrose. So that's all there is to say about it. So with that said, we're going to move on. And we're going to move on to our next match. And unfortunately, the luck of the draw bites me. But this was not as bad as people initially thought. It was King Barrett versus R-Truth. Of course, R-Truth in his ridiculous King Was Up mode. But who got the last laugh? It was King Barrett. King Barrett wins the match in 8 minutes and 50 seconds via the Bull Hammer. Well, this is the sleeper fight of the night for me. Sleeper fight of the night. It's the fourth best fight of the night overall. And I'm actually going to give this about 2.25. Yeah, I'm actually going to give it 2 to 2.25 stars for the effort. I'm leaning more towards 2.25 stars for the effort. Maybe even 2.5. I mean, this match was actually not as bad as I thought it was. I thought this was going to be a piss poor fight. That was going to be a meh fight, but no. This fight actually got a little more time than I initially thought, and it was actually some decent near falls down the stretch. So, color me surprised. This was the sleeper fight of the night, and even better, Barrett went over. I'm very glad about that. Barrett's finally winning matches again. That's good, albeit against stud enhancement talent. He going over guys like Zack Ryder, and of course R-Truth tonight. So yeah, good win for Barrett. Hopefully, they're going to start taking it more seriously, which I think they should, because I mean, after all, they put the King of the Ring on him, for God's sake. So that's all there is to say. So. I don't know if this is the blow off of this feud or what the deal is, but nonetheless, color me surprised. Sleeper fight of the night. I mean, go figure. We have a sleeper segment and a sleeper fight in the same night. Go figure. I'm scratching my head on that one, but in a good way. So 2.25 to 2.5 stars. Fourth best fight of the night. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on King Barrett and R-Truth?
Yeah, I actually do agree. It was a 2.25, 2.5 star match. I mean, yeah, when I heard about it, I was like, I thought it was going to be another one of those meh or another one of those done enhancement matches, but this was way better than what I thought. Yeah, King Barrett basically gets the win. Basically, he needs it. I mean, and hopefully, and I'm hoping that this is the beginning of a build-up for King Barrett, because let's face it, he is the King of the Ring winner. But you know what? I'm not holding my breath on that, because we keep thinking that these guys are going to get built up, and the next thing you know, they start going on a losing streak again. So I'll believe it when I see it. So yeah, so 2.25 to 2.5 stars. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on to the next segment.
And Michael Bullock, the luck of the draw actually smiles upon you for a change. As we had ourselves, what a segment this was. It was an in-ring segment. The WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, along with J&J Security, they call out Brock Lesnar, asking they shall receive. Brock Lesnar comes out along with Paul Heyman. And, oh my goodness, pandemonium breaks loose, as the late great Gorilla Monsoon once famously said so many times. Oh yes, pandemonium indeed broke loose during this segment. Where to begin? Brock Lesnar destroys the J&J Cadillac, which I actually saw coming. I knew about this in advance. Dirt sheet, hello. I read a dirt sheet saying that they were going to do they were going to have some big angle with Lesnar. They said that Lesnar was going to destroy the car, and go figure, that's what happened. I'm not at all surprised by it. So we all saw it coming. Everybody and their mother saw it coming. Does that? He destroys, he breaks Jimmy Noble's arm via the devastating Kimura lock, and then of course takes Joey Mercury on a first class ticket to Suplex City, biatch. That's all there is to say about that. And tries to go after Rollins. Rollins, another, like the other great announcer, Jim Ross would always say, ran like a scalded dog. So, Michael Bullock, I mean, pandemonium broke loose, man. Your thoughts on it?
And don't forget another quote from JR. Look at the carnage. Yeah, that's what Brock Lesnar had left out there. Carnage. Yeah. Well, first off, Seth basically says, you know what? Triple H and Stephanie know what we all need to understand, that basically he is indeed the man and the future of the company. And I've been proving it over and over again. I was the one. I mean, I am the architect. I am the man who destroyed the Shield. I am the man who reunited the Authority. I am the man who cashed in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania and became the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And there is no one else on this planet who can beat Brock Lesnar. I'm walking in champion, and I'm walking out champion. And he says, you know what? Earlier tonight, Eamon mentioned about the 11th commandment, not provoking the beast. And he is wondering, he says that here he is, and he is wondering if Brock is the beast that everyone says he is, or is he just Paul Heyman's bitch? And I'm like, that is not what you want to say. Brock comes out, and let's just say he wasn't looking too happy. And then, of course, Heyman comes out with a box, and he pulls out an axe, and then he basically starts destroying that car of J&J Security. And then after all that, J&J decided to try to defend their car. Yeah, right. That's not a good idea. Basically, he grabs Jamie Noble, locks in that Kimura lock, and yeah, you do not want to be in that Kimura lock of Brock Lesnar. And because we've seen numerous superstars' arms get broken, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, for example, Mark Henry. I mean, I can go on. And then Brock grabs Mercury and gives him a one-way ticket to Suplex City, bitch! Right onto the Shield. And then Brock Lesnar tries to go after Seth Rollins, and like you just said, he runs like a scalded dog. But he ain't gonna be running at Battleground when he has to face the Beast Incarnate. So yeah, so definitely a crazy segment. And like JR said, look at the carnage. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, man, I 100% agree with you. I mean, wow. You are forgetting something, however, Michael Bullock. Segment of the night? Hello. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, this was the segment of the night. No question about it. Anytime you get Brock Lesnar going on a rampage and destroying an inanimate object, yeah, it's automatically going to be the segment of the night. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And great hype for Battleground, no doubt about it. And Rollins running away like the smarmy heel that everybody loves to hate. And, you know, yeah. Brock Lesnar taking out J&J, of course, breaking Jamie Noble's arm via the Kimura lock. Joey Mercury gets the first class ticket to Suplex City. And then destroys, absolutely decimates that $55,000 Cadillac that Seth Rollins gave to J&J as part of that ridiculous opening segment from last week's show. Man, oh man. Wow. That's all there is to say about it. I mean, the Battleground fight is going to be unbelievable. We're still scratching our heads as to why they're doing it for Battleground and not SummerSlam. So that's really all there is to say about it. But segment of the night, I mean, absolutely a fantastic segment. Live crowd ate that thing up. And Paul Heyman, of course, channeled his inner Wayne's World doing the I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. And I even saw some fans doing the we're not worthy, you know, out of the Wayne's World. So that's all there is on that. So segment of the night, without question. So with that said, we're going to move on to our next match. Tag team action. It was the Lucha Dragons. Lucha, indeed.
Lucha.
Luchas. Sin Cara and Kalisto going up against Kofi Kingston and Biggie Langston on the New Day. Kofi Kingston and Biggie Langston win the fight in 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Second best fight of the night, believe it or not. I'm actually going to give this between 2.5 to 3 stars. I thought this was a really good tag team match. There was some good near falls. There was some nice spots in this fight. And, yeah, New Day needed the win, obviously. You know, they obviously want to make New Day, you know, want to give them some momentum going into that tag team title match with the primetime players at Battleground in a couple weeks. So, yeah, great moves. Like I said, crowd was into it. I was into it. This was a really good match. Wasn't sure what to make of it when I first saw it, but as the fight went on and the action, you know, got better and better, I'm like, hey, this fight's actually pretty darn good. So good that I'm actually going to give it like I said, second best segment of the night, between 2.5 to 3 stars. So that's all there is to say about that. We'll talk more about that tag team title fight in the weeks to come. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this tag match, New Day and the Luchas? Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I forgot to unmute my mic there, but I do agree with you. This was the second best fight of the night here. I do agree it's a 2.5 to 3 star fight. I mean, there was some good action here. Yeah, definitely. The New Day really needed this win. Of course, to keep them ready for their tag team title match against the primetime players at Battleground, and of course they want to make them look good after. Well, let's just say the New Day basically got a one-way ticket to F5 City, bitch. Yeah, you all saw on that WWE Network special, the Beast in the East, where basically it was Brock Lesnar against Kofi Kingston, and I'll say it, that was the worst match of the morning for that. But basically, Kofi got the snot beat out of him by Brock Lesnar, yeah, New Day tried. I mean, the rest of the New Day members, Kofi, Xavier Woods and Big E tried to save him. Yeah, not a good idea against someone like Brock Lesnar. And you know the IWC really enjoyed the New Day getting the snarky out of them by Brock Lesnar, and yeah, so really got nothing else to say except 2.5 to 3 stars. And I know if Michael Fletcher was here, he'd be doing it with me. Lucha, 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 lucha. All right, Florio, let's just move on.
Yeah, and a quick thought when it comes to the Beast in the East show. I'm glad you mentioned that, Mike Bullock. I mean, Derek Ferreira, he did a review. You can check that out on the sportsblog.com site. He gave his review on it, and I do agree with you. Brock Lesnar and Kofi Kingston, without a doubt, it was the worst fight of the night. It was an absolute dud. It was a total squash for Lesnar and a showcase match for Lesnar. But you know, if I'm going to be quite honest with you, that was a 2-match show. Chris Jericho and Adrian Neville. I mean, what an unbelievable match that was. That was a 3.5 to 4-star match. And, of course, the fight of the night, far and away, Kevin Owens and Finn Balor for the NXT Heavyweight Championship. 4 to 4.25 stars was the rating I gave for that fight. And Finn Balor, to the surprise of no one, capturing the NXT Heavyweight Championship. I mean, how many times did we say it on this show? Finn Balor was going to win the belt at that show. A gazillion. So, yeah, everybody and their mother knew about that. So yeah. But the Diva Triple Threat was solid. That was a solid 2 to 2.5 star. Well, more like 2 to 2.25 for the Diva Triple Threat. Main event was a little too long for my liking. It was a little, it overstayed its welcome somewhat. But I thought that was the third best fight of the night, 2.5 to 3 stars. And overall, it was about a 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for that show. Aside from the Lesnar and Kofi fight, the other 4 matches, were solid to good to great. But of course, Balor and Owens, fight of the night, very close second. Jericho and Neville, and by default, I would have to say the main event, even though it didn't really blow me away. It was like a typical house show main event. But I thought that was a very good show, that Beast. I'm being quite honest with you, and I'm really hoping they do more specials like that in the very near future. So, a job well done for WWE on that part. All right. With that said, oh boy. Oh boy. Batten down the hatches. Buckle your seatbelts, folks. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. The big review. Main event of the evening. The John Cena United States Heavyweight Championship Open Challenge. We initially thought it was going to be John Cena versus Kevin Owens. They teased us again. Cesaro comes out. Cesaro says, no, I want a rematch. And Owens just walks away, and Cesaro gets his rematch, rightly so, because you all know Kevin Owens interfered in that unbelievable fight from last week, which we rated 4.5 to 4.75. Michael Fletcher and I know Michael Bullock's within the same realm as us. As we had a late night chat, the other night on Friday night, as Michael Bullock was getting in from his family vacation. As you know, we didn't have a Strictly Sports Friday night, so we had a late night chat, talking about, and that was one of the topics of discussion during that. But it's not often that the sequel is better than the original. But then again, we didn't think that was going to happen when John Cena and Kevin Owens. Cena and Owens had a 5-star classic at the Elimination Chamber. Going into the Money in the Bank fight, we thought there was no way the sequel was going to be better than the original. Well, guess what? The sequel was better than the original. That was a 5-star classic. Last week, John Cena and Cesaro. We were initially going to give it 5 stars. Kevin Owens ruins it with interference, causing a disqualification. And Fletch and I had to make it a 4.5 to 4.75 stars match. And Michael Bullock, you are one very, very lucky son of a gun, my man, because you get to lead off on this. It's John Cena and Cesaro 2, United States Heavyweight Championship. First time ever that we had a return challenge match. And ladies and gentlemen, the sequel was better than the original. You already know what the rating's going to be. I don't think I even have to say it. But I know Bullet's going to reiterate it. I'm going to reiterate it. But based on the way I'm talking about this fight, you already know where we're going with the rating. Oh, by the way, if you're keeping score, winner of the match, and get this, folks, 30 minutes and 10 seconds. That's right, 30 minutes, 10 seconds, the time of the fall. Winner, and to the surprise of no one, still the United States heavyweight champion, John Cena. Michael Bullock, it's all yours, man.
What else is there to say? All I can say is 5-star classic. I mean, this was just freaking awesome between these two. I mean, the back and forth, the Shakespearean drama, and all that. I mean, we had that same stuff last week, but I do agree it was last week's counter was only 4.5 to 4 3/4 because of Kevin Owens interfering. But nope, we got a clean finish here, and boy howdy, there were times it looked like Cesaro was going to dethrone the champ, but once again, Super Cena comes around, he gets the win, and yeah, 30 minutes. I mean, I still can't believe that this match went over half an hour. I mean, now this one definitely puts a butts in the seats and eyes on the screen, and I'll tell you what, when Cesaro hit that neutralizer, I'm like, yeah, he's gonna do it, but you knew Super Cena was gonna come out of there, and then basically Cesaro then tried to go for the neutralizer on the top rope, but then Cena hits the AA from the second rope and gets the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, this definitely was a damn good match, and definitely is a 5-star classic. And then of course Kevin Owens comes out and he basically tries to hit the pop-up powerbomb on John Cena, but then Cena hits the AA on Owens, and yeah, basically Owens was all frustrated after that. So yeah, definitely not a good past few days for Kevin Owens. Of course, losing the NXT title to Finn Balor, and now of course getting AA by Cena. So 5 stars, fight of the night, without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm gonna say it. This is my statement. This is going into my rankings for match of the year. I mean, when we do a power rankings at the end of the year for the top 10 matches of the year, this is definitely going in there without a shadow of a doubt.
Amen.
Florio, it's yours.
Amen to that, my brother. Amen to that. I'll gladly reiterate it. For the first time in nearly 2.5 years, Monday Night Raw had a 5-star classic match, and we got it right here tonight. Before tonight, the last time we had such a fight, John Cena went up against CM Punk, February 25th, 2013, Dallas, Texas, American Airlines Center. Cena won that fight to earn the right to face The Rock for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 29, which of course Cena went on to, of course, win the belt at WrestleMania 29, before losing it, of course, at SummerSlam to Daniel Bryan, another 5-star classic match, which is, to me, the greatest match in SummerSlam history. I don't care what anybody says. But 5 stars. 5 stars. 5 stars. No interference. No authority shenanigans. No BS shenanigans. Clean finish. Shakespearean drama. Near fall after near fall. White hot crowd. IWC capital of the world. That's a recipe for success right there, my friends. Say hello to your new TV match of the year. And heck, I could even go as far as to call this the match of the year, if I'm being honest with you. I think this was even better. I think this is even better than Cena and Owens from Money in the Bank. I mean, this was absolutely incredible. I mean, go figure. We had a damn near 5-star classic last week. And then go figure, 1 week later, we actually get the 5-star classic. That's unbelievable. I honestly wasn't sure. I honestly thought it was probably going to be 3.5 to 4 at best, but man. And Michael Bullock makes a great point. 30 minutes, folks. That's right. I said it. Time of the fall. 30 minutes, 10 seconds. I honestly cannot remember the last time a Monday Night Raw match, any match in the history of Monday Night Raw, got that much time. You have to go all the way back to April of 2007 in London, England, when John Cena and Shawn Michaels had a 5-star classic that went nearly an hour. We all remember that. We all remember HBK and Cena. A couple weeks after WrestleMania 23, everybody remembers that. Cena and HBK main evented that Monday Night Raw from England. And that match went damn near an hour. Shawn Michaels won that fight. That was a 5-star classic. And to me, that is still, to me, the greatest match in the history of Monday Night Raw. This ranks right up there in my top 5. This goes into the top 5 when it comes to the greatest matches in the history, in the 22 and a half year history of Monday Night Raw. This was everything a professional wrestling fan could ask for. Michael Bullock, do you folks now know why Michael Bullock and I love technical wrestling as much as we do? This was a match that only he and I could be proud of. I mean, you've heard me go on and on over the years saying how much Michael Bullock and I love technical wrestling. This match tonight was the exact reason why we love technical wrestling. Michael Fletcher and Derek Ferrer, we all know how much they love their hardcore. Everybody knows that. They love their hardcore fights. I love the old school ECW and all that. But for all you technical wrestling fans out there, like myself and Michael Bullock, we got a masterclass and then some tonight. Absolutely fantastic. 5 stars. TV fight of the year, without a doubt. And I'm even going to go as far as to say this is the fight of the year for me. I don't give a damn what anybody says. Bravo, John Cena. Bravo, Cesaro. In WWE, I'm going to make a statement here and now and clear it to the point. You may not have put the belt on Cesaro. That's fine. I can understand that because because we all know when it comes to when John Cena eventually drops the title, you know it's going to be to Kevin Owens. We don't know if it's going to be initially I was thinking Battleground. There's another part of me that's saying it's going to be at SummerSlam. But when it comes to Cesaro, he's had he had a close to 5-star match last week. He has a 5-star match tonight in defeat. Let me just say it like this. You got a diamond on your hands. Don't blow it. I am hoping and praying to the good Lord above that Cesaro, when it comes to Cesaro, that this is the beginning of bigger and better things. These last 2 weeks haven't proved anything. I don't know what the hell does. These two men worked their asses off tonight, and I, for one, so damn thankful, so damn appreciative of these two men's efforts tonight. Michael Bullock, I know you're right there. You're right there in that same boat with me. I know you are. So, oh my gosh, what an unbelievable match! Wow, that's all there is to say. Absolutely freaking incredible. That is all there is to say. So, congratulations, fellas. You knocked it out of the park tonight. 5-star classic, fight of the year, TV fight of the year, and for me, my overall fight of the year. Good luck to any other matches that has to try to top that. So with that said, it's overall review time for this edition of the Wrestling Forum. I'm going to start it off. The first 2 hours, were, right around, okay, meh, somewhere in that neighborhood. that last hour was just absolutely unbelievable. Brock Lesnar going on his rampage, to that very good tag team match with the Luchas and the New Day, and of course the main event for the ages. Taking into account everything else, I'm going to give this show tonight between a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. That's the best I can do for this show tonight. Fight of the night, come on, you already know what that is. John Cena, Cesaro 2, United States Heavyweight Championship, 5-star classic, first 5-star match on a Monday Night Raw in over 2.5 years. New Day and the Luchas, second best fight of the night, 2.5 to 3 stars on that one. Third, and then rounding up the top 3 would have to be Roman Reigns and Sheamus, a solid 2.5-star fight there. King Barrett and R-Truth, sleeper fight of the night, 2 to 2.25 stars for the effort there. And then, of course, you had that NA of a fight with Ryback and the Big Show. And then, of course, you had, and of course, second, when it comes to the lowlights, second worst fight of the night, of course. We only had really, when it comes to the worst fights, third worst fight of the night would have to be Ryback and the Big Show. Second worst fight, Brie Bella and Paige. That was a 1 to 1.25. Ryback and Big Show, like I said, NA. And then, of course, the worst fight of the night, Dean Ambrose, the squash to Bo Dallas. That was an absolute dud. And those were really the only real lowlights of this show. Those quality matches, like I mentioned, Cena and Cesaro blew all of us away. Luchas and New Day, Reigns and Sheamus, and then sleeper fight of the night, Barrett and R-Truth. Can't believe I'm saying that, but it is true. And then you had 3 very good in-ring segments with the opening segment with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, and then the segment with and that sleeper segment with Rusev, Summer Rae, Dolph Ziggler, and Lana, and then of course the segment of the night, of course, Brock Lesnar going on that rampage and everything else. So, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think I'm going to bump it up to a solid 8 out of 10 tonight for this show. You know what? It's actually going to be right around 8 to 8.5, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Because, I mean, like I said, the in-ring matches were really good. Of course, Cena and Cesaro, like I said, just blew all of us freaking away. I'm not even here right now. That's how much it blew me away, guys. Unbelievable. And like I said, good luck to any match going forward for the rest of this year to try to top that. Because I don't know if anything. I mean, I'm sure some will come close. I'm sure we may get to more 5-star classics, and quite frankly, bring them on. We can't get enough of the 5-star classics. We've been getting a lot of these. We've been getting spoiled lately. And who knows? There could be more to come by the end of the year. And that's going to make our year-end power rankings that much more difficult. Believe me. That's all there is to say. So for me, it's between 8 to 8.5 out of 10 for this Monday Night Raw tonight. Like I said, wow. And like the great Don Henley would say, like his great song, his beautiful song, "The Heart of the Matter," that awesome lyric. The more I know, the less I understand. Michael Bullock, how do you follow that? Your overall thoughts on this show tonight?
Yeah, I do agree. This was between 8 and 8.5 out of 10. I mean, this was a very good edition of Monday Night Raw. I mean, like you said, the first 2 hours were pretty much okay to meh, but the last hour really took it out of the park. Of course, the highlights for me, of course, the fight of the night being John Cena and Cesaro. That was a 5-star classic. The second best fight of the night being the Lucha Dragons against the New Day. Of course, you had those two good. You had the segments with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar at the beginning, and then of course the one with Seth Rollins, J&J Security, and Lesnar. And of course Roman Reigns and Sheamus. That was a good match as well. You had another good segment with Ziggler and Rusev. Of course, King Barrett and R-Truth. That was a good match as well. Of course, the only lowlights of the show was, of course, the Big Show against Ryback, and of course Paige against Brie Bella, and of course the worst fight of the night being Bo Dallas and Dean Ambrose. So solid 8 to 8.5 out of 10. So I really got nothing else to say except Florio. Let's put a wrap on this show, and I'll start it off with the shout outs.
Yes, indeed, Michael Bullock. You started off with your shout outs, like I said. Of course,
And then I'll toss it to you, and you'll give the future content. So
get future content, and I have the docket for Strictly Sports, and I will reveal that as soon as you know what your shout outs. So have at it.
All right, we'll do. First off, of course, shout outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it's the Wrestling Forum or Strictly Sports. It doesn't matter. We really appreciate it. Of course, we thank you all so much for listening to us for another edition of the Wrestling Forum, and of course, shout outs to our super fans, Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, Matt Ward, and Jason Hixenbaugh. And of course, shout outs to, of course, our friends from our high school days, Al Brederson, Jimmy Alden, Rob Parsons, Eric Carrier, Tom Souza, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, the First Lady of Strictly Sports, Kaiser Butler, and of course, shout outs, of course, to our the Grand Poobah himself, Derek Ferrera. Of course, still taking that leave of absence. Of course, with his sports blog. Hopefully, we'll see him back soon. And of course, to Michael Fletcher for, of course, couldn't be with us tonight because of his work commitments. So, yes, of course, that's pretty much going to do it for me. So, I'll save the rest of my shout-outs for Friday night on Strictly Sports. So, until then, this is the Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mike Bullock, saying thank you all so much for listening to us. And, of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now. And, of course, enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. And, of course, God bless and be good to each other. So, with that being said, Florio, take us home and set up the future content, and especially for Strictly Sports on Friday night.
And are you going to be on Friday night, Strictly Sports, Bullock?
Damn straight.
All right. So just wanted to be sure on that. So, all right. Of course, before I get into this future content, of course, I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in to this late and abbreviated edition of the Wrestling Forum. We appreciate it as always. You are the best fans in the world. Of course, special shout outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make the Wrestling Forum and Strictly Sports as ridiculously over as they are. Again, appreciate that as always. Of course, shout outs to our super fans, Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the entire Woodson family. Matt Ward, I wonder if he was at that show tonight in Chicago. I don't know. I'm not sure, but we'll see. So a special shout out to Matt Ward. You know, he's had a lot of big things in Chicago as of late. Of course, the Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup, and the Cubs doing well, and of course that great show tonight. Definitely a lot of things going great for him. So glad to hear that. So special shout out to Matt Ward, of course, Jason Hixenbaugh, Daniel Luttrell from the UK. Of course, the First Lady of Strictly Sports, Kaiser Butler, First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, our high school friends, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Rob Parsons, and Al Brederson. And of course, last but not least, our other two brothers in arms, of course, the hardcore python, Derek Ferrera, still on the leave of absence due to his sports blog commitments. It's a great read. I mean, let me tell you, it's a great read. I encourage you all to check it out. I mean, he has some great articles on there each and every day, not just from professional wrestling, but also in the world of sports as well. And our other shout out, of course, to our Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, who's going to be with us tonight. Obviously, I'm sure it was because of work commitments, as always. Hope to have him back Friday night, but he says he's 50-50, so I'm sure Fletcher will keep us posted on that. Now, I normally don't do these kind of shout-outs on the Wrestling Forum, but I do have two significant shout-outs I want to give a special to. Michael Bullock, you may want to listen up for this. For these two shout-outs, you're not going to believe what happened today. First off, our old friend Jenny Dell, you know Jenny Dell, formerly of Nesson. Well, guess what, folks? If you didn't see it today, she actually guest hosted Sports Nation today. She filled in for Michelle Beadle. She was on the show today. Jenny Dell, yes. Jenny Dell sat in Michelle Beadle's chair along with Max Kellerman and Marcellus Wiley. So, yes, Jenny Dell was on Sports Nation today.
Hey, girl.
How about, yeah, I hear you, Bullock. I hear you. But don't let Mr. Middlebrooks hear you. And then, of course, our other shout-out, you may want to cue up that Hey Girl again, Bullock, because for the first time in several months, for the first time since November 30th, guess who was back with a weekend mashup vlog? Yes, State of Sorrel was back tonight, folks.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes. I'll actually take this one. Hey, girl. Mm-hmm. You obviously know my love affair with that one. So, yes, State of Sorrel returned with a weekend mashup vlog on her YouTube channel tonight. What a treat that was. I mean, first Jenny Dell on Sports Nation filling in for Beadle, and then State of Sorrel with a weekend mashup vlog for the first time since the end of November. Wow, unreal, folks, unreal. So that's why I had to get those two extra special shout outs. I could not hold those in until Friday, honestly. So that's gonna, and of course now that's gonna do it for my shout outs. I'll save the rest of those for Strictly Sports on Friday night. And speaking of the docket, I have the docket right here. So Friday night, Strictly Sports, 10:30, of course, right back here. I'll be guest hosting one more time. And the docket is as follows. We're going to talk about the latest big free agent signings in the NBA offseason. Of course, I expect the San Antonio Spurs to come up a lot, especially with their big signings of LaMarcus Aldridge and David West, and obviously the return of Manu Ginobili coming back, obviously Tim Duncan coming back. So, San Antonio, oh boy, they're gonna be tough to beat next year. You're there, you're first. But it's not just those guys. We'll also have some more big free agent signings. We'll get into that. We'll also talk about the revealing of the Major League Baseball All-Star rosters, the starters and the reserves. And of course, we'd be idiots if we didn't talk about the big story in the sports world, Team USA winning the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup up in Canada on Sunday night, the big win over Japan. We'll pay our respects and we'll have our celebration there. And of course, the return of our Major League Baseball power rankings. So, latest big free agent signings in the NBA offseason, the revealing of the Major League Baseball All-Star roster, starters and reserves, Team USA women winning the FIFA Women's World Cup, and the Major League Baseball power rankings. And that's your docket for Friday night, 10:30, right here, right back here on this channel, the Tone 25. So that's going to put a bow on this edition on this late and abbreviated edition of the Wrestling Forum. So until Friday night, for that, it's Ridiculously Anthony Florio here for the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Hardcore Pipe Bomb, Derek Ferreira, and the Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher. Once again, Ridiculously Anthony Florio saying, you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And until Friday night for Strictly Sports, you've been watching the Wrestling Forum right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. For now, Anthony Florio, so long.